My lesson plan takes place in an after-school English institute in South Korea. The class size is 8 to 12 students and the students are 3rd and 4th graders. The lesson will be situated in an ELL book called New High Kids for 3rd level learners. The class is learning the unit about jobs, and this lesson, named My Family and I, takes place on day 5. By the end of the lesson, the learning objectives the learners will accomplish are to be able to recognize names of jobs and talk about job responsibilities, talk about family members' occupations and responsibilities, as well as be able to write on their iPads about future dream jobs with 80% accuracy. The National School Curriculum of the Republic of Korea, English Standards for Elementary, state that the objective of elementary English is to increase students' interest in English and foster their basic ability to comprehend and express themselves in English, to be able to say the names of familiar objects and write words describing objects and pictures. For learning materials, there will be iPads equipped with a scanned version of the New High Kids 3 student book and interactive dialogues where students can tap and enter information as they complete it. A whiteboard and whiteboard markers will be essential, as well as jobs flashcards. This lesson takes place in a high technology classroom with individual iPads and high-speed internet connection. For low-tech classrooms, the flashcards would be paper and the final product could be handmade. For middle-tech classrooms, they would have internet access on shared classroom computers to search images of their jobs to print. The final product would still be paper-based as well as the flashcards. For special needs students, there will be an edited down version of the project that the teacher will assist with. For gifted and talented students, the project will incorporate an extra add-on. The language level of students will be the same because as ELL students, they test it into the class, and the class is based on level, not grade. For content-based literacy skills, students should be able to write about jobs and responsibilities, write about their family members' jobs, and write about their dream job, in addition to being able to read and identify job titles in the student book, read and understand short dialogues about jobs, and read and understand homework pages relating to jobs and responsibilities. The new media skills the learners will engage in are performance through dialogue repetition and dialogue practice and presentation, and distributed cognition through using their iPads and searching the internet for the images. The class will begin by playing a matching game to review job names and responsibilities learned in previous lessons. The objective of the game is to correctly match the job names with the corresponding job responsibility. The teacher will have half the virtual flashcards on the iPad and the other half will be projected on the digital whiteboard. In pairs, the learners will go to the board and wait for the teacher to ask a question. The teacher will either ask, "This person does XYZ, what job is it?" Or, "This person is an XYZ, what do they do?" Depending on the question, the two learners will look for either a job flashcard or a responsibility flashcard and race to be the first to find and tap the correct flashcard. With the groundwork of job titles and responsibilities laid down, the teacher will next introduce new model sentences and phrases to talk about family members' jobs. The teacher will model speaking and write the key expressions on the board. What is your father's job? What does your father do? He is an XYZ. My father is an XYZ. What does an XYZ do? An XYZ does blank. The teacher will introduce the idea of future dream jobs and model key expressions. What do you want to be in the future? In the future, I want to be an XYZ. Learners will practice the new expressions and correct pronunciation by repeating after the teacher. The teacher will then put learners into pairs and prepare them by explaining how to find the model dialogue on their iPads. The dialogue will mirror key questions and expressions the teacher has written on the board. In pairs, learners will use the model dialogue to practice speaking by filling in the blanks with answers about their parents and real dream jobs. After learners have completed the model dialogue, they will individually use the iPads to find a picture of their dream job using the internet. Using their found picture, learners will follow the prompt and fill in 2 sentences about their job. The teacher will walk around and monitor learners Progress, answer questions, help with iPads, and offer suggestions. After all the learners have completed finding pictures and filling in their sentences, they will save their files on their iPads. The teacher will check saved files after class. The teacher will then explain the objective for the next class, which will be to present their dream jobs using what they made in that day's lesson. As a form of assessment and wrap-up of class, the teacher will ask individual students questions about their family members' jobs and future jobs, looking for answers that use the expressions learned and practiced in the beginning of class. Then the teacher will ask other learners about what their peers have said to check their engagement and understanding. In the next class period, learners will begin by sharing out their future dream jobs using their saved files from the previous lesson. Then they will move around using a chart with classmates' names and ask questions to find out and write about other students' future dream jobs using question prompts on the board. For homework, students will have to complete a practice book page by filling in the jobs and responsibilities of their family members. They can ask their parents in English or Korean about their jobs based on their parents' English proficiency. In the practice book, they will also read and listen to the model dialogue from class and practice repeating. As according to Street and Lung, the lesson will be framed in sociolinguistic theory, specifically by grammatical competence. These learners are still building the foundations of their English language competency, so it's important for them to have a sound grammatical competence to enable them to access English properly. Through speaking repetition as well as writing, the learners will be building up their grammatical knowledge and skills. The strength of this lesson plan is that it builds students' literacy skills while cleverly disguised through activity, interaction, and use of technology. The idea of the lesson gets students connected to the material by relating to themselves and their families. The weakness of the lesson plan is that the low English level of the students makes free speaking about the topic difficult. Thank you for listening and viewing my Pecha Kucha.